This just in, bro. The WNBA secured a new national media rights package worth $2.2 billion across 11 years with the three companies, allowing the league to earn approximately $200 million per year beginning with the 2026 season. Now, at first, I thought that was good news. Like, congrats, you guys been going up in views and whatnot. Like, it makes sense. But the real uproar around everything is that the NBA's current negotiations for its approximately $75 billion media rights deal over 11 years with the companies Disney, NBC, and Amazon has created a bit of an uproar. So my question to you is, do you think that the WNBA should have secured a more lucrative media rights deal? And also keep in mind too, the NBA owns 60% of the WNBA. And not only do they own 60% of the WNBA, they're also the ones that negotiated the new deal for the WNBA. And the current deal with Disney, CBS, and Ion is worth $50 million annually and will expire after the 2025 season.
So what's the uproar? You went from 50 million to 2.2 billion
Well, really,
off
the
of one draft, you know?
I think the uproar I really think is more about the NBA securing the deal for the WNBA that has created that much of an uproar and them going after $75 billion. So the WNBA's thing is that they feel like because of Caitlyn Clark's new resurgence and everything that's happened over the past couple of years, they've gone up 183% in a lot of areas in terms of viewership and whatnot. And I believe they feel like they're worth a lot more. And I really think too, as well, it's the fact that it's over 11 years. Like if you ask me, I actually believe they should have secured a more lucrative media rights deal because it's over 11 years, right? So it's not just over like 3 or 4 years, which is like, okay, yeah, that's pretty solid. But basically, even though they're going to quadruple their earnings value per year with the new deal, it's the fact that they're looking at Caitlyn Clark, they're looking at Angel Reese, and you're talking over, like, this is secured. So it's over 10 or 11 years. You don't know what's going to happen in that time period. If you're going to get any more players in, that's going to increase the value or whatever the case may be. So I feel like they're looking at like we still aren't valued where we think we should be valued.
I disagree. I feel as though that is their value. The WNBA is not even like promoting Caitlyn like they should, or Angel, or Cameron or Rakia Jackson for that matter. Um, they've
Yeah.
definitely um, kind of fumbled the ball. I mean, you don't have neither one of your new stars on Team USA, and then it looks worse when those two very young stars are on the All Star team, and their All Star game was the All Stars versus Team USA. Angel had a double double in 18 minutes. It just showed that they should be on that Olympic team. And if you were really promoting and pushing, and like you wanted more out of what you have, you want to bump them numbers up as high as you can get them, for negotiations, but you chose not to. The first game of the year should have been the Fever versus Chicago Sky.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
you know,
Yeah.
like keep it going, Bird and Magic, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
may really make it a thing. They're kind of doing it, but they're not fully doing it.
Not at
So
all.
I feel as though they got their value. They got their exact value of what they're worth for current, you know.
I would disagree
The
with you in terms
players,
of where their value is, but I would agree with every other point that you listed. I think that they have a problem understanding what their product is. Like their actual product is entertainment. It's not basketball. They don't know how to market it and they don't know how to sell it to the public, which is why everything that you said is so accurate. You're not everything you said is very accurate in terms of what games should have been, how they should be promoting each of the rivalries and whatnot. But I do think based on what I've seen from the WNBA and the moves that they're making and the players that they have, they could have gone for maybe 5 to 10 billion. You know what I'm saying? Over the next 10 years, just off of where things are projected. I will say that much. They could have at least secured 5 to 10 billion, but they're not the ones doing it. The NBA is. So if we're just talking about it from a business standpoint, it makes sense. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, the NBA owns the NBA. I'm
60% of
sure
it.
I'm sure they went for the most lucrative deal that they could get. At the end of the day, I get it's up 180%, and we're getting sellout arenas, and we're getting this, and this. Okay, the first thing you gotta do is not compare it to the NBA. You know, one person is going from 10 to 100, whereas the other is going from 10,000 to 100,000. You know what I'm
See what you're
saying?
saying. I see what you're saying.
Like it's very different, dynamics. You're selling out arenas, but you're selling out your arenas. You're not selling out, NBA arenas consistently. And when Caitlyn goes against Angel, yeah, they move it to the big dome,
Right, right,
you
right.
know, but you have to move it to. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Where are you
Facts.
at regularly? You know?
Facts.
So they are, they're well on their way. This is like really like year one, you know.
I
So
agree.
yeah, in 11 years, that next deal, that's where you'll see even bigger leap. But this is a huge leap, going from where once the CBA comes up. Now, I think Caitlyn came in; she's making like 70K a year, right?
76,000.
Seventy
And
six
the
thousand,
average
right?
player is making 242.
So
The
now
top player, I mean, not the average player, the top
the
player is making
the
242.
so the top player now becomes the bottom line. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Girl like Caitlyn will come in and make that as a rookie,
Yeah.
as a top pick rookie. And when you involve more money, that makes your position a little more solid too, or you're not as
Yeah.
quick to want to cut somebody because they've already signed on for 200 a year. You got to pay them 880 over the 4. You're going to keep that girl a little longer,
Facts.
because you're a little more tied to her. So I think this is all beneficial all the way around. And then where does that take the top player? Now do they get a $1 million contract where she's
Hmm.
making $1 million a year? You got to look at, if you want to compare it to the NBA, you got to compare it to where you're at, which is like 40 years behind them. You know,
Yeah.
like
Well,
remember, it was a big deal for Magic to get $1 million. It was a big deal for Jordan to get like 10, 15 a year.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's levels. You don't just jump up, you
Well,
know?
they're hot right
So,
now. You know what I'm saying? They're hot right now, and they feel because of where they are,
right. And
how
and
hot
as a
they are.
business, let's say you're Amazon, you want to
Hmm.
make sure this is sustainable, you know? You
Very
don't want to
true.
pay for one hot year. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So I gotta make sure I gotta leave some leeway for the next 11 years to not go as planned because that's possible.
Facts. Facts. Here's something Terry Jackson said. She said, "We have wondered for months how the NBA would value the WNBA and its media rights deal. With a reportedly $75 billion deal on the table, the league is in control of its own destiny. More precisely, the NBA controls the destiny of the NBA." So they're really taking an uproar to this. They're really taking an uproar to this because they feel like they've been undervalued. And I'm telling you, it's just because of how hot they are right now. But I believe you touched a great point when you said, is it sustainable? You know what I'm saying? Which leads me into the transition for the next topic is what's your projection for the WNBA over the next 5 to 10 years?
I think the next couple years are. I don't really know what's gonna happen after that. The talent that's coming at Page, you still have Juju. You know what I'm saying? Like you got some,
Hmm.
I've seen. I mean, man, like I've seen some videos from girls, bro. Like it's their talent is like well on its way. Like I
Yeah.
mean, it's girls in the WNBA right now that still like barely make layups. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
like I think in the next 10 years, I believe it won't be like that. I believe like the worst, kind of like in the NBA, where it's like your 15th man could come in and give you 30. You know,
Hmm.
with the right opportunity. You know, I believe it goes a little more like that, and I believe you get better basketball. All right, because
Hmm.
regardless, the more you keep going up in that pay, you start to lose real basketball. You start having contract incentives. You know, I've listened to podcasts where NBA players talk about how a guy will stop shooting because it's 5 games left. He gets an extra million for shooting 35%, and he's at 35.4,
Mm.
and now he's not going to shoot no more.
Right,
He doesn't want to
right.
lose attention. You know what I'm saying? That's where you lose basketball. The one thing that I really enjoy about women's basketball is I feel like they really be hooping.
I agree with you.
Now you take that hooping and you take in the talent that's coming in with the talent that's there. Like I said, in a decade, I think it's gonna dwindle out some of those, you know, not that good of hoopers, you know,
Yeah,
and you'll start to see like just a very, very beautiful product, you know,
yeah,
and also very beneficial that these girls are girls, basically,
true.
on top of like the deals that are doing outside of basketball, because that's the growth, the growth. It really don't matter what like 80% of them won't, because only 1% of y'all are really making the difference.
Facts.
And then that's the truth. That's why I don't understand why they're not riding the Angel and Caitlyn train hard. Are they the best players in the league? No.
They're not the best players in the league, but they're the biggest stars in the league. They don't know exactly what they have their hands on right now. You know what I'm saying? It's got real hot, real fast, and they're having to figure out what moves to make to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? But I think in the next 5 to 10 years, they'll be okay as long as things keep pace. You know what I'm saying? I see them getting a
Maybe,
whole lot bigger,
maybe. I
you
don't know
know.
who their commissioner is, but she's not very good at it because you saw this coming. Let's just be honest.
What did they?
This
You
was
can't
coming.
tell. You can't
You
tell if they
no
saw
no
this
no. If,
coming.
if you were watching, like no Manny, I really I've
I
been
saw it
watching
coming. You saw it
women's
coming.
more than men's NCAA.
Yeah, yeah.
The men's has been kind of boring. The women's has been on fire.
Facts. Facts.
So understanding that like these girls have the opportunity to bring that into the W, and you don't make plans, like, what I'm saying? Like, remember when Lonzo was all hot? What was the first matchup they gave Lonzo in the NBA?
Man, I couldn't even tell you that was
Patrick
so long ago.
Beverly. Patrick Beverly,
That's facts.
right?
That's facts.
Because
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly was talking smack about Lonzo's dad always beefing up his son.
Yep. Yep.
It's
They
it's,
gave
it's
the
like
audience an alley-oop.
out the gate,
Mm-hmm.
out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Mm-hmm.
not, you know what I'm saying? That's what I
So
mean.
why
You
isn't your
gotta,
first matchup Caitlyn Clark versus Angel
like,
Reese? Because that's what
do
I
you
thought it
do
would
you
be.
know that they're both in the playoffs right now? They're both like the last seed, the
Wow.
last two seeds in the East,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you got two rookies out here taking two teams that were picking first, and in the Chicago took Angel with the seventh, and they took Camilla with the third or fourth. So they had two top 10 picks. The Fever had the number one pick, and they're both in the playoffs right now. So
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what you want to say, if they're the best players in the league or not, they just took bottom out franchises and took them and they're literally in a playoff hunt,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
they're relevant. And you're selling out arenas. There's better teams. No one's saying they're selling out arenas. That's my
Facts.
point. It's not even about what the majority of y'all want right now.
It's
Just
not.
like just like in the NBA, when it comes to those CBAs and stuff, if you leave it to the majority, it wouldn't look good. You wouldn't see $300 million players because the majority of you aren't the best guy. The
Yeah.
majority of you are regulars, you
Facts.
know?
Facts. Mm-hmm.
So same thing in W. The majority of you don't really have a vote. You can say what you want to say, but I mean, I've listened to player podcasts, where they're like, hey,
Yeah.
if LeBron wanted this and KD wanted this, they wanted contracts to go like this, 120 votes came in that said that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, so the media rights deal is only a piece of the puzzle. What y'all go and do in the CBA is the next part, because it's not
Yeah.
an immediate increase in pay. They still have to go into the CBA
Right, right.
and get that right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it might they might need to get a higher percentage increase on what can be taken out of that 200 million, right?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about 200 million, but we're only talking about players going from 70 to 200,000.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even talking $10 million deals.
Facts. Facts.
You
People
know,
assume that because of the
uh,
sponsorships and stuff outside of the
yeah,
why they would.
but the sponsorship, but who's getting sponsored? You know, Angel and Caitlyn.
The stars.
I'm sorry.
The
What's that one
stars.
girl? Agawawe. You didn't see the large leaps. Like it was getting a little better by year, but you saw big leaps once you added these two girls, and these two girls brought attention to their whole draft class.
Facts. 2.4 million viewers, if I'm not mistaken, or 2.1 million viewers, which was 5 times more than the previous years. Just an FYI on this draft class. And the
That's
first
what
game that Caitlyn Clark played in was it was over 2 million in terms of viewership as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm projecting to be pretty far. And I think, like I said, with Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese pushing the brand, where they can push it, their star appeal outside of it, what they do on social media. I mean, I think Angel Reese was seen with different stars already in terms of different artists and different musicians, people like that. Like all of that brings attention to the brand. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I want to transition into next. Is I want to tell you guys about a couple of people we really rock with. Number one, Rubler, a social media app that appreciates you, and it's also Black owned. This app is all about you. You can customize your feed so you can only see what you want to see when you open the app. You also get a chance to enjoy a safe environment where racism, harassment, hate speech, bullying isn't tolerated, and you can enjoy a fun, creative, mannered, respectful discourse. And to be honest with you guys, since using this app, I've cut down my social media usage on other apps completely in half. I like to say this app is similar to if Instagram and YouTube had a perfect baby where everything you loved was in it and everything you hated was out of it. So guys, check out Rubler, a social media app that appreciates you. Number two, Excess Sports Nutrition. Guys, crack the seal on one of their many flavors and keep winning. How do you feel about the Caitlyn Clark versus Angel Reese rivalry?
I feel like it's like Magic and Bird, you know,
Exactly like it.
like where it's really not a rivalry, but they make it one. Like they understand. I know Angel understands. Hey, when I play her, this is for the people.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
This is for the show. This is for the marketing. I feel like Caitlyn's just hooping. Like
Absolutely.
she's, I feel like she's not even a fan of the media attention of it all. She just
Yeah,
wants to hoop. She's kind of like KD. You know,
I agree with you. Yeah,
like just let
yeah,
my game do the talking. You know, whereas Angel is like the media mogul for y'all, which is very funny to me because Angel was the seventh pick.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
Caitlyn
she's
Clark is
out
the
here.
safest player, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because,
Oh
like
yeah.
you said, she focuses on hooping. She focuses on you don't really catch her too much outside of you know what I'm saying, hooping and those things. So that's what I
You know
mean when
what
I
I'm
said she's
saying?
the safest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus
But
Reese, who's a lot more vocal, who's a lot more seen. You know what I mean?
yeah. But she still walks through that tunnel dressed like a girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that's motivational to a lot of young women, you know.
absolutely.
And because one of the things that was less attractive about the game before was it wasn't really women. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yep.
more kind of like thuds, playing and stuff. And like it was no, I'm just being honest, it was a different
You are,
game.
you are. It's facts.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Stud
saying as
chicks.
a male viewer, if you're gonna watch any women's sport, you want the best of both worlds. You want
Facts.
a pretty athlete, you
Absolutely.
know. And
Absolutely.
we're talking about the marketing and brand and building of this league,
Yeah.
you know.
And that's something that the
So
WNBA has over the NBA
hey,
to a larger audience is sex appeal. And do you
you know
feel
what
like
I'm
they're
saying?
using that? I feel like the
But
players are doing it on social media and whatnot, but do you feel like the WNBA is using that, or do you think they're afraid to use that?
I feel like the players are doing it naturally. Just look at these walkways coming into
Facts.
the game. You
Mm.
know, they're putting what the kids say nowadays. They putting that on. They putting that shit on. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They putting it on.
Mm.
And you just see in a lot of these comments and a lot of these, because what do you if you want men to watch? This is just the truth. It's not like the WNBA. You're not making it because you have millions of new women viewership. It's because
Facts.
the men are caring now,
Facts.
you know,
Facts.
because you're giving us what? The best of both worlds,
Facts.
right? They're pretty and they balling,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And you got a rivalry.
Yeah.
Like a rivalry really makes it something, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I
That's
said, you gotta remember we're talking about the picking first and second and stuff in the draft.
yes, yes,
You
yes.
know, in the NBA, you're not talking about Atlanta, who was the first pick, and Washington, who was the second. You don't talk
Facts,
about the lower teams. You
facts,
know,
facts, facts.
even if they got the number one pick, but you want to build, you want to get to that point. You know, but so
Yeah.
this is your big Magic and Bird moment right here, right now. You know, where you got to eat, and guess what? And Juju, she coming. That's gonna be your Jordan. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, just compress it because you got to watch the NBA do it. You don't have to take as long. If they do everything right, that next deal can go from 2 billion to 50 billion.
Easily.
You know what I'm saying?
Easily.
So now in the span of 20 years, you go from 50 million to 50 billion.
10x. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's huge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you don't play it right, now it just goes from 2 billion to 7.
Absolutely. And and
You
and
know?
I feel like that's more of the issue. I feel like a lot of people are really focusing on is like, man, the WNBA might blow this. You know what I'm saying? If they don't figure out
Yeah.
the pieces to the puzzle, they might actually blow this, even though they have the
Yeah.
blueprint, like you said, of the NBA. But I put it like this, and I touched this earlier on it, man. It's your product is not basketball, it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Your product is entertainment. You just gotta figure out how to market and sell that.
One final point towards it.
Yeah, yeah,
This is important right now. You didn't want to get the biggest media deal right now. And this is where you start kind of getting analytical. Because you kind of want to weed out the broke owners,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You want to get more Mark Davis owners, the guy that owns the Vegas. He also owns the Raiders. You know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
want to get more of them, well known, very billionaires. You know, you
yeah,
want to get more billionaires owning these teams because they're going to be the ones that are going to want to make the push. Like, hey, we need higher pay so I
yeah.
can steal more players because I can
Facts.
afford it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Mark Davis would love to throw these girls 1 million a pop, 2 million,
Yeah,
3 million. That don't feel like nothing to him.
right, right, right.
But y'all capping him off. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
got in trouble for flying his team on his private charter planes.
yeah, yeah. And that's why I said, bro, the
You
WNBA
know,
is in position to blow it.
and that commissioner might need to be changed. But we'll see.
Yeah.